Slanjava, welcome to Whiskey and Synths. This is the channel that blends whiskey drinking with music making. I'm David, and in today's video we're going to learn 6 mind-bending tricks from the incredible Boards of Canada. They are considered pioneers in electronic music, and no one's ever really approached music making quite like them, so I think we can definitely find out some amazing tips from them. But first, who are they? So they're a mysterious Scottish duo called Marcus Owen and Michael Sanderson, originally from Cullen in Murray, which isn't far from Inverness, near where I'm from, Fort William, not far up north in Scotland. So originally from there, but they grew up in Canada for a bit and loved watching the National Board of Film and TV Canada kind of educational films and movies growing up, and that's where they got their name from. And it's nostalgia for this era that really drives the project. So let's find out some awesome tricks from them. I think that'd be the best place to start today. So the first trick's an easy one that you can implement in your own music. It is memory triggers. So these are sounds or samples or even like certain instruments that kind of evoke a bit of nostalgia for you. And you know, chances are other people in your generation. So it's gonna be samples from an old TV show or kind of a retro bit of gear, and if you don't have access to the gear, maybe you can use an emulation or plugin or anything like that, and then you can always manipulate that sample and change it. But because it's in there, this will trigger a memory of a time and place, because music and sounds are so powerful like that. This is one of the first things you should try. The next one is actually using way too much compression. So it's a bit more complicated than our first point, but the way it works is you set the compressor to have a very high ratio, okay, and quite a quick attack, and not too short a release either. And the idea is the compressor is going to come down, but you're not really compressing stuff. It's the high ratio that really smashes it, but you're only letting the threshold just engage. So it's sort of do like that. The compressor's hitting the peaks of your sound, and the way they described it is it almost spreads powder over that sound when it hits. So that's quite a cool trick. High ratio, so it means it's acting quite strongly, but your threshold, you're not compressing a lot of the sound, just the peaks. So it's like almost obliterating the peaks of the sound, spreading inverted commas dust over the sound is what they describe it as, and definitely gives it quite a cool effect. Another thing Boards of Canada are famous for is making their music sound natural and organic, which is cool. Reminding people of the outdoors and exploring as a kid and stuff like that. And they said a way they achieve that is to use not much reverb at all. Because if you think about it, if you're outside, there's actually not a lot of natural reverb. Whereas if you're in a small room like this, you know, you get reflections off the walls. And they said it's counterintuitive because you never really do this in music production, but you might want to apply a little bit of delay to your bass frequencies, which normally we'd say don't do that because it can really muddy the low end. But if you're outdoors, bass frequencies travel the furthest and reflect off, you know, things like cliffs or caves or big skyscrapers or whatever. So having the low frequencies have a little bit more of delay than normal can give you that feeling of being outdoors. So less reverb, more delay as well, and I guess chuck in some found sounds in the mix as well, and boom, you've got that outdoors feeling to your sounds. Before we go on to our next tricks out of this top 6, I just wanted to let you know every month I offer 4 free Zoom calls for music producers like you. If you want to improve your music, I offer jumping on a Zoom call, analysing your track, giving you a checklist of what you can do to make it better, and also giving you a rewatch of the call, all for free, because I just want to help people like you. It's something I would have loved when I started as well. So click the link below to register for that, and I'll happily jump on a Zoom call and help you out. It's my little free offer, and thanks for watching this video so far. Let's get into the next tips. So another tip Boards Canada said is play in as much by hand as possible, using like a MIDI keyboard or a synth, or maybe using drum pads or finger drumming. And they said quantize as little as possible. So if your take isn't that good, rather than quantizing it, actually just replay it in and again, do more takes of it, almost approaching it like a band would. and that can give your music that human, more natural feel that they're famous for. And it's probably something I should have said at the start of this show, is that is one thing they are really renowned for, this organic human feel to electronic music that's quite hard to achieve. But hopefully these tips are giving you ideas of how you can get that in your own music. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so this one is a bit more work, creating a track in a different genre to then sample to put into your actual track. So you might make a piece of music just for fun that could be like lounge jazz, or it could be, I don't know, like a kid's theme tune for a television show, or it could be, I don't know, anything, like a techno track, but you don't normally make techno. And the idea is you could then take that as a WAV file and sample it, totally mess with it and put it more into your current style as a producer. So that is a well cool trick they do. And they're quite proficient musicians, drummers, they play keyboards, they play bass, guitar. So if you have any of those skills, but you've went more to music production recently, and maybe it's time to use those skills, make a track in maybe a genre you used to work in, it could even be acoustic, and then resample it, and that is an awesome thing you could try out. So before I go into our final trick, if you want to leave a comment if you've enjoyed this, or leave a comment any tricks you know about boards of Canada I've not covered yet, maybe another time I'll do a video more on VSTs and effects you could get that would emulate it as well, to get more in detail on the technicalities of it. But I do think talking about their approach is really important as well. So leave a comment if that's something you'd be interested in, or any other things you'd be interested in. So our final tip of the day in this Boards of Canada experiment is, they said getting outside of the computer as much as possible really helped them. So they would find bargain tape machines at car boot sales, or second-hand shops, things like that, or even find little dictaphones that had little tapes in them, and they would make stuff, record it through that, even hold up the dictaphone to the speaker like that, and then bounce it and put it back into the computer and try and get stuff recorded on like even VHS tapes, anything like that. So anything you can do to get outside of your DAW, whether it's Ableton or whatever, playing on gadgets, even using budget things, secondhand things you might get. Facebook Marketplace is good for that. I'm just trying to experiment with sound in a different way. Even getting hands-on with like pedals and stuff can be really good for that. And I'm not saying going out and spend loads of money, but stepping away from your DAW can be good. But also in your DAW, to try and emulate that, if you can't have access to like actual hardware, stuff like that at the moment, there are some great free tape emulations, like the Lego Smackos tape machine is great, Google that. Or sometimes I was lucky and got the Arturia Mello-Fi tape one in a deal they did. So look out for big companies giving away free plugins every so often. And there's some good VHS emulations out there, so you can always use them in your music, in your DAW, if you can't access the stuff outside your DAW as much. Because I understand everyone's got a budget, we can't just go spending money on gear all the time as much as we'd like to, but it might be a fun thing to give a go if you do find any bargains or anything like that. So if you made it this far in the video, I want to say massive thanks for watching. I hope it's given you an insight into Boards of Canada. I've put the sources where I got the information from linked below as well, in underneath this video, if you want to research it more, find out where I got the information from as well. Also remember, I do those free free coaching calls every month as well, to help out producers like you get their track finished, basically get it to a stage you're happy with and put it out there. Because at the end of the day, I think that's one of the big aims we all have, and I want to help with that. So I do those free Zoom calls. You can even just book it straight away below and go straight in my calendar. I would love to hear from you and get that sorted as well. So yeah, it's a little thanks for staying for the end of the video or podcast. If you're listening in audio format, thanks for that as well, appreciate it. There'll be more of these videos coming soon. As always, leave a comment if you want to know more about it. And hopefully you're enjoying the kind of podcast video format of these videos. I'll be doing them like this for a while. Eventually, when I get more time, going back into doing like, screen grabs and kind of pure tutorials where you can see Ableton and see things like that. But hopefully this is enough just now to keep you going. It's a new thing for me. I'm talking too much now. You've got stuff to do. I've got stuff to do. Thanks so much. I'll catch you later. Enjoy your whiskey. Enjoy your synths. Cheers, guys. Catch you later. Slàinte mhath.
whiskey.